Welcome back to my channel. This is Bring Peace into Your Life Part 2. So if you haven't already done so, I would suggest that you go back and listen to the video Bring Peace into Your Life Part 1. In that video, I talked about finding peace and bringing it into your life. I also talked about practicing inner stillness, simplifying your thoughts, and nurturing compassion for yourself and for others. In this video, I'm going to touch on another 4 points to help you bring peace into your life. The first point is to align your values. When you align your values and your actions match what you believe in, inner conflicts fade away. If you are being true to yourself and you are being true to what you believe in and what you think is right, it's a lot easier to have peace in your life. If you are acting in a certain way that is not comfortable for you or is not who you are, that can really bring inner conflict and that can be really difficult. And for bringing peace into your life, that is very difficult because if you're not congruent, if you're not completely honest about who you are and what you feel and what your values are, that can really knock you off balance, and it's very difficult to have inner peace and bring peace into your life when you're not in balance. What you really need to do is reflect on what truly matters and shape your life around this. So if something matters to you, you're going to put more passion into it. You're going to be more focused on what you're wanting to do because it's something that you really believe in and it's one of your core values. If you are doing things because you feel you have to, out of obligation, or because you're being told that you should act a certain way, if that doesn't align with your values and who you are, it can be very difficult because it will feel incongruent. It will feel not true to yourself and that you're being false. And when you feel like that, it's very difficult to bring peace into your life because there's a conflict there between how you're acting and what you're doing and how you actually feel about it. A second thing to look at is to create a peaceful environment. When you have an environment that's very busy, there's lots of stuff around, things don't have their own place, it's very untidy, that can be extremely difficult. One thing I would say is this can take time to do, so creating a peaceful environment is not something that will happen right away. But if you take your time to build practices around this, it can be really helpful. Another way to create a peaceful environment is to spend time in nature. Spending time in nature can be very therapeutic. Being out in fresh air, being around trees and gardens and animals, it's very, very good for the soul. And we spend a lot of time indoors. Sometimes people work from home or they work in office environments, and then you're in your home and your house, and it can be a lot because you're surrounded by four walls. When you can get out into nature, it's very freeing, not just freeing for your body but your mind as well, and that can be really, really helpful. So go for walks, go for forest walks, go for walks in the park, get yourself outside and build that on that so that you are surrounding yourself with nature. It is very, very therapeutic. Another thing is to limit noise and negativity and constant digital input. So having some quiet time is really good. It can really calm yourself down. It can bring a lot of peace. If you are on devices all the time, especially if you maybe work on a computer, then you're on devices all the time, or you're watching TV, or there's no downtime, that can be really difficult. So limiting noise can be really helpful because it makes you look at what is in the here and now. It makes you also take time to think about how you're feeling. If we are bombarded by digital media all the time and work phones, work computers, your own phone, all these social media sites, it can be quite difficult to actually have some peace and actually think about how you're feeling and what's going on. So when you're bombarded by all of that, it's very difficult to be in the present moment and be mindful. Whereas if you can have a break from that, some peace from that, it can be really helpful. What I would suggest is when you are kind of like getting ready to go to sleep, it can be quite good to switch devices off, switch your TV off, have a bit of time in silence just to relax and ground yourself before you try and go to sleep. And it can really be helpful. All this blue light from devices and all the noise and the constant scrolling and moving on to something different and flicking through channels and stuff can be quite chaotic. Whereas if you can just take yourself away from that a little bit, it can really help. Another thing to look at is to forgive and release. So when we are going through difficult times, especially if it's with someone that's close to us, where we've maybe had an argument with someone or a disagreement, that can be really, really difficult, and we hold on to a lot of pain. So holding grudges ties us to our pain, and it ties us to those feelings of uncomfortableness, of feeling upset. And until you actually try and let go of that, you hold that, you carry that baggage, you carry that weight, and you carry that grudge for that other person, or that situation, and it can be quite heavy. So when you're trying to be more mindful, when you're trying to be more peaceful, if you're carrying around that weight with you, that can really get in the way. Forgiveness doesn't excuse behaviour, it releases you from being bound by it. So it's not to say that we forgive everything and then we forget. It's not to say that. If we forgive something, it means that we are not then being tied to it. We're not then being tied to the mistake or the difficulty or the thing that's happened. And when we let that go, it makes us feel a lot lighter. We can forgive someone and move forward and not hold that and still have inner peace. If we are holding that and holding the weight of that and the grudge and the judgment and the disappointment in someone, that can really get in the way of feeling peaceful. So it's very good to work on forgiving and letting go. And that's not just talking about the most recent things that have happened to you, but there's a lot of things, there's a lot of baggage that we carry with us from the past, from the way we were brought up, from the way we were treated, from maybe in previous relationships or in our relationships with our parents or our family. And we carry that with us, and we carry that as baggage. Now, we all have a past, we all have stuff that we've been through. So it's not about forgetting what we've been through, but it's about looking at, is it really serving me to keep a hold of this? Is it really serving me to be tied to the past and tied to a situation that has been and gone, especially if there's been some time since what happened and the incident that happened? If we can try and work through letting that go, it's not about telling someone that it's okay to treat you badly. That's not what it's about. It's about releasing you from it, not necessarily releasing them. And that can be very cathartic, and it can be very healing, and it can be the start of a healing process. And when you do start to heal, you do let go of a lot of baggage and a lot of weight, and you allow yourself to actually heal and move forward and live. And that can be really helpful. The last point that I want to touch on in this video is to be present. Be in the present moment as much as possible. Live your life where it is just now, not living for the past or looking at what's coming in the future. Obviously, we can make plans. I've said that before. Making plans, having things in the diary is really good to look forward to stuff. But sometimes we need to be in the present moment and just allow ourselves to live and be where we are. Peace lives in the present moment, not in the what ifs of the past or the future. So peace lives in the present moment, not in the what ifs of the past or the future. Practice returning to now. So if you can look at, this thing has happened in my past, that's fine, it's been, work on forgiving and releasing that. Thinking about the future, yes, we can do that, and at points in life it is a good idea to do that. But sometimes we need to think about where we are here and now, and we return to the here and now. So we can look at the past, and come back to the here and now. We can look at the future and come back to the here and now. And it's about returning to now, because the only moments we have are now. We have our memories from the past, we have our hopes and dreams for the future, but the only part of our life we're living right now is in this present moment. In this present moment, the life that I am living is recording this audio for a video so that I can try and help people. That's where I am in this moment. And yes, I have had a day filled with supermarkets and a dentist appointment and the gym, and in the future I know that I'm going to be spending the weekend with my boys, and we're going to have some sporting activities. We're going to probably go out for lunch. So that's the future. But here and now, I'm recording this to help people, and this is where I am here and now. And sometimes it's about coming back to the present moment and living in that moment and enjoying that moment and enjoying what you're doing in the present time. I really do hope that this video has helped, and it's helped you to look at bringing peace into your life. I'm going to do some videos coming up on how to actually preserve that peace once you have worked on bringing peace into your life, and I will explain that in the next video. So if you want to make any comments about this, anything that you've done to try and help yourself bring peace into your life, any tips or tricks that you've done or that you want to share, please do so, and I hope you have a lovely day.